So I don't know what it is today with me being in like tiny little crawl spaces and caves and stuff like that, but here we are in another crawl space and we have a really good example of what not to do. Here's the pipe that comes up out of the ground from the well, PVC, and it goes straight in to this lovely GE filter. It's got a little timer, reminds you when to change the filter, all that stuff, right? The water goes through. Here's the problem, the pressure switch is over here. So whatever pressure is being stopped here, when this filter clogs up, this pressure switch doesn't know that this filter is clogged up. So this pressure switch just keeps telling the pump, send water, send water, send water. And when this filter is clogged, now we're deadheading the pump. The pump is trying to pump, it's being told to pump, and it can't get there. It can't satisfy the pressure that this pressure switch wants. This is how we damage pumps and burn up pumps, is having this improper setup. And if we look at this, we come in with 1-inch pipe that's PVC, so it's got a 1-inch internal diameter. The inside of this pipe is 1 inch. And then when we come over here, we convert down to 3/4 pegs, which is smaller than 3/4. Whenever they did this, they really just constricted their flow. And then it goes right back to our 3/4 inch PVC. So now this whole pressure system that this person installed is acting as a bottleneck, and it's going to negatively affect how much pressure they get. And then if we come over here, we've got this entire water treatment system that is just not in use. And so if it's not in use, yet we're still sending water through, it hasn't been maintained in years. Now we've got this situation where it's like, are we making the water worse because we don't have a maintained system? And this is where it gets even more crazy. Is this tank is less than 1 week old, and if we look at the Schrader valve right here, we can see that we are losing water out of this valve, okay? Which means the bladder inside of this tank is already busted. Is that because it's an A.O. Smith? No. A.O. Smith makes a lot of stuff and it's good. It was probably improper install. This was installed by somebody who gave it a really good shot, but they just did a lot of things wrong. You know, we don't have our electrical wire, you know, clamped on each side. You know, our pressure switch cover isn't secured. You know, there's some health things here, there's some safety things here, and there's some mechanical things here. But this is why we call professionals, because the amount of damage that this has done to his well pump, we don't know it yet. But it could mean that he has to spend a couple $1,000s to get a new well pump. Guys, I really appreciate when somebody's a DIYer, okay? I got a lot of respect for DIYers. We got to educate ourselves on how to do it, and we got to do it the right way. And if you don't know, call a professional and watch them do it so that you can do it yourself in the future. Nothing wrong with being a DIYer, but don't mess your stuff up. And also, we've got a beautiful, copper line here that's been grounded. However, this copper line does not go to ground. Doesn't go into the ground here. It goes right here to this PVC water pipe. Here's a fun tip. PVC does not conduct electricity. So I don't know what we're doing here, okay? But it's probably not kosher. Love you, mean it, call somebody.